as the former Trump White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, NewsNation contributor, joins us now. Only one question, Mick, that I was thinking about. I wanted to ask you about this, and it's kind of a practical one from your time as Chief of Staff. We used to hear that the president himself handled his social media posts like late at night and early in the morning. Were you ever aware of a time when a staffer would have access to or be posting from the president's account, again, late at night or early in the morning?
Not at late at night. Typically, there'd be one other staffer, Dan Scavino, who very often posted on the president's X account. I understand there's one other staffer now in this second administration, Natalie, somebody who I don't know as well, who also might have access to his account. But that being said, that would be during business hours. My understanding is that this was posted at 11:44 at night. So sort of the default setting amongst anybody would be that this was the president himself. By the way, I'm having difficulty with the video, but I got to ask you, Connell, did you show the picture?
Did we show it on the air? That's a good question. Claudine, did we show it on the air earlier? Because we talked about it. Our show has not. No, our show has not shown it on the air.
Exactly.
I did
because it's so offensive. Think about that. It's so offensive. We won't put it on the air.
It's very offensive. I mean, I obviously watched it like everyone else did. By the way, the only reason I asked Claudine is just to make sure, because sometimes something would flash up at the earlier, when I wasn't watching. But no, I watched it. I think. But finish your point about the offensive.
My point
nature.
is this: is that we won't show it, and I respect that, and I agree with that decision. But people are going to see it. This ad is going to be replayed in every single one of the House and Senate races going into these midterms. First thing that came to my mind after I got over the shock of this is, oh my goodness, you can kiss the midterms goodbye. This is going to be something that is going to be seen again and again and again. I know the White House is doing a little bit of damage control here today. We talked maybe a little bit about what they should be doing, but there's been a lot of damage done, and it's going to take a lot of work to undo it, if at all.
Caroline Leavitt's, not great in terms of damage control, was it? To say, basically saying, hey, there's more important things for you guys to talk about in the media. And my response to something like that, and there's the post, would be, yes, we know, and we're talking about them. We've talked about all the big stories today, the stock market at 50,000 and the Iran negotiations. But people are also talking about this. It's not an either or, I guess, is my point.
It isn't. And of course, that initial statement seems to imply that it was the president. It was the second statement they put out that said, oh, by the way, it was just a staffer. Look, let me put my old chief of staff hat on for a second, because it's entirely possible this was a staffer. There are other people in the White House who do have access to the president's Twitter or social media accounts. But if I'm the chief of staff, I'm coming out today on television, I'm saying, look, it was a staffer. This is the staffer. I would name the staffer. And this staffer is no longer working here.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I would go to the president and tender my resignation, offer to resign. Because if you're the chief of staff and the staff is doing this, then you have a problem amongst your staff. That's how you handle this situation. You should be talking today, Connell, to your point, about the stock market at 50,000, about the Trump RX, the new prescription medicine and stuff, about the stuff overseas. This is clearly a self-inflicted wound that's been handled. You couldn't handle it any more badly than they have.
That's interesting that you attend to your resignation as chief of staff for this. What do you make of the market, by the way? I was asking our guest when we were closing out about we always do interviews about these round numbers, and you say, does it matter? And John Bussey from the Wall Street Journal was on. He said, yeah, a lot of times it does to people. So I wonder, absent this conversation, how much it matters to see the Dow close above 50,000 today.
It does matter. It matters to folks who have 401k and retirement accounts, and that's real. It doesn't change the price of eggs. It doesn't change the price of steak. It doesn't change the price of your house. But it's unequivocally good news. It just is, not just because people are getting richer and there's a wealth effect to the economy, but because it's a message that other people all around the world who invest in the United States think, you know what, the future of this country is very, very bright. If they thought we were headed in the wrong direction, they'd be selling America, and they're not there buying America. So yes, it's absolutely important, but it's one of the biggest lost messages of the day because of the tweet.
Because of the tweet, right. So then the question for the midterms, this is the last thing to kind of put it all together, is like, if you're this Trump administration, is there still time to turn the ship around, presuming you think that the ship needs to be turned around, right? So that, or is it as simple as hoping the economy turns around along with the stock market and you just kind of ride that wave? I mean, what's the strategy?
It's a lot of the latter. Keep in mind, a lot of folks already know who they're voting for, right? When you get down to the midterms, you're looking for those undecided voters in the middle. And I guess you're going to try and hope and say, look, please ignore what we said about race relations. By the way, I got to tell you, white suburban women are the people who are going to react to this more than people realize, I think. People don't want to vote for a party that they think is racist. They just don't. And they've got to figure out a way to fix that. Yeah, so you would love to think that the economy will do better, and that would be part of the message. Stuff overseas could be tremendously better between now and the midterms. There's no question about it. But if you are running for office as a Republican, you better figure out how you're going to handle this, because you are going to see it more than once between now and November.
I mean, how would you handle it other than condemn it, right?
That's exactly right. And I think Roger Wicker said the exact right thing. Of course, you know, Tim Scott is a friend of mine. I feel for him today, but I think Roger came out and said, look, you take it down, which the White House did, there's no question, and then you apologize. I got news for you. That's not typically how Donald Trump conducts himself. It's sort of a forward-looking, you don't ever look back, you don't ever apologize. This might be the one time where he should consider an exception to that general rule. That's how bad this is.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.